Good morning, everybody. My name is Danny Akins. I'm the Policy Administrator for the Ohio Department of Veterans Services. It's been my pleasure to serve as a statutory member of the Reentry Coalition for almost 8 years now, since I've been at the department. The department's only been around since about 2008. We were one of the original statutory members, so it's been a privilege to be able to see the work that Mike, Brian, and the Reentry team at Rehab and Correction have done to put all these coalitions together, and the tremendous work being done in the community. As a veteran myself and someone whose transition, like many other veterans, had its ups and downs, I can, as Director Moore I think often says, I often look at folks and veterans that might be in the system and say, there for the grace of God go I. So it's nice to see these types of programs in place to take care of folks. And I'd like to say that, especially over the last several years, Rehab and Correction has done a tremendous job of identifying veterans and folks who served in the military that are in the system, and to help deliver services to them while they're within the walls, and also ensure coordination with the right authorities as they get outside the walls to ensure, in some cases, a seamless reinstatement of veteran benefits, or in some cases, initiating the process for veteran benefits that may help them transition into a more sustainable long-term future independently. So really appreciate the work they've done. And just to give you a few ideas of some of the resources, if you're not familiar, in every region throughout Ohio for veterans, as a department, we have a training relationship with our 88 county veteran service offices. Those are 88 independently funded and locally appointed offices that can provide emergency financial assistance. They can provide financial or transportation services for VA medical appointments. And they can also help initiate claims related to either pension or for VA disability compensation for veterans who sustained injuries while they were in the service. And so those can be nice kind of benefits and services for folks who may have some trouble procuring employment or other things like that. I also remind folks that the VA has a Veteran Justice Outreach Program. I know Rehab and Correction has been working very closely with them to ensure that, so if a veteran came in that was already connected to benefits, their benefits stop when they come inside the system, but to ensure that those are seamlessly reinstated when they leave, and that way there's not that kind of fall off and that risk of recidivism based on the fact that they're unable to support themselves, because even with a disability, getting work can be challenging enough as a re-entering civilian or citizen. So hop onto that, a disability can be even more difficult. I'd also like to point out, and an issue actually just came up this morning, understanding from my experience here, kind of that risk of homelessness that occurs as someone is re-entering and being restored outside the system. Understand too that the VA has a very robust veteran homelessness prevention program. And while a good portion of the services are focused on veterans that are currently homeless, and they go out and do point in time, and they go under the bridges and try to find folks, a lot of it is also focused on preventing homelessness to begin with. And so if you're unable to kind of, if you are kind of looking around at resources, maybe you're having some trouble engaging the county service office, maybe you're having trouble engaging your veteran justice outreach folks from the VA, reach out to those homeless folks. I will tell you, for the entire state of Ohio, we are part of what's called Veteran Integrated Service Network 10, which is the local VA's health network for the state of Ohio. And if you Google a lot of them, if you just Google, let's say for instance, VA Vision 10 homeless programs, and it'll bring you to a page where you can get the direct contact information for the people that lead those programs, whether it be through Columbus, Cleveland, Toledo, Cincinnati, Dayton. And so it's a good step into get those resources engaged and to get the veteran connected to the resource they need. So I strongly encourage you to leverage those. Another issue that comes up oftentimes with our incarcerated veterans is the issue of bad paper discharges, is what they call them. So some veterans or people that served in the military may have received bad conduct or dishonorable discharges for a host of reasons. Some of it might have been behavioral, some of it they committed felonies or crimes while they were in the service. Some of it may have been just from back in the days when they were separating people for being gay, or because they had a behavioral health situation that led to discipline issues that then led to a discharge. I can tell you that was always considered to be kind of an old problem. And even in my own mindset, I always thought that was well, that's something from the Vietnam era, and that's something from the don't ask, don't tell era. I just recently read a statistic that between 2011 and 2015, the military separated 91,000 people with bad paper discharges. And of those, 65% were estimated to be connected to some kind of post-traumatic stress or behavioral health issue that was incurred while they were in the service. So it's still very much an issue that is with us and can be challenging in terms of connecting to those county benefits, those VA benefits. And what I would encourage you there is that the VA and the Department of Defense is looking very hard at the issue of upgrading discharges related to discharges that were pursuant to a behavioral health issue that might have been related to the conduct, or especially for those folks who were separated because they may have been homosexual in the Don't Ask, Don't Tell Her or prior, that those, if that is actually the basis of the discharge, those can now be overturned, and those veterans then become eligible for all the VA and county benefits and things that are available to them. If you have questions, I would strongly encourage you, if you don't get a hold of me, you can go to our website, ohiovet.gov. It's very simple. We have a phone number, an email there. It's very easy to get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me through Mike or Brian, who are in touch with me on a regular basis and stuff like that if it needs to be. I'd also encourage you to reach out to some of the veterans. So I always highlight the Vietnam Veterans of America. Buckeye State Chapter here in Ohio. They're the only national veterans organization that has a dedicated program of outreach to incarcerated veterans. They're the only veterans organization in the state of Ohio that has veteran posts inside the walls. I think they have 7 around the system. I was just at their state meeting in Newark, Ohio about 3 weeks ago, and they actually have an annual award for the best incarcerated post and their top incarcerated veteran, right alongside their other veteran communities and things like that. So it's a particular point of interest for the Vietnam Veterans of America. So if you know of local posts that are in your area and things like that, that's another potential resource for you in terms of trying to assist, because they'll help any veteran, not just Vietnam veterans who are coming out of the system. So I strongly encourage you to engage those. So again, thank you all for the work you do in helping some of these most vulnerable people that are in our society and getting them back to where they can contribute and fulfill their own destiny. So appreciate it and have a great day.